We're looking here at Windsor, just across the river, Detroit, of course. And this border, specifically the Ambassador Bridge, the #1 international border crossing in North America, just links between those two communities, very, very integral. New travel restrictions are in effect now at Canada's land border with the United States. But the largest group of people who make that crossing every day are still exempt from the rules. Commercial truckers are not required to show proof of a negative COVID test or to quarantine at home. And some of those truckers are speaking out to CBC News this morning about the risks to themselves and their family, the risk they could bring the virus into Canada from the United States. Diane Buckner is bringing us that story this morning. She's in Toronto. Diane, you've been talking to the truckers. They've been expressing their concerns to you. And what are you hearing in their stories?
Well, they're saying that they're being told by the government just to do all the things that we're all doing anyways, wear masks, social distance, watch for symptoms, etc. But as you say, Heather, there's no tests at the border. They don't need to quarantine for 14 days when they get home. They couldn't quarantine for 14 days. The nature of their work is they're out on the road constantly. And the long-haul truckers we've been speaking to say the behavior that they have witnessed at some of these truck stops and service stations down in the U.S. makes them feel very vulnerable. So I want to let you hear from Leanne and Gerald Steves. They are a married couple. They work as a team. They travel to California every week. They are both diabetic. Gerald has had heart surgery in the past. And I asked them, what is it they see south of the border that has them worried?
They're not taking the safety precautions that they should be. They don't wear their masks. They're not social distancing. They travel everywhere.
So Leanne and Gerald, they say they don't even get out of their truck in Missouri. They say it's the worst state. They would like to be put at the front of the line for the vaccine. Right now, truckers are not a group that is getting that kind of priority, Heather.
But has not the Public Safety Minister, Bill Blair, said the government is looking now at rapid testing at the border, Diane?
Yes. Bill Blair said that on Sunday. And, some truckers think that's a good idea. Others say that it is not a good idea at all. In fact, the Teamsters Union in Canada is saying the idea just isn't feasible, that truckers do wait already at the border. And if they then had to be tested, you can imagine the sort of logistical lineup that would happen there. So the Teamsters is saying there was actually a pilot project in Ontario last summer where they were giving COVID tests to truckers at rest stops and truck stops and so forth. Apparently, they say it was very popular with the truckers. The Teamsters is saying bring that back ASAP. But right now, Bill Blair is not giving any kind of a timeline for testing of truckers anywhere. He's just saying the government is looking at it.
We are talking a lot today, Diane, particularly after the warnings from Dr. Theresa Tam about COVID variants that are now in circulation in all of the provinces of this country. So given that, how urgent is this issue that it be addressed with the trucking population at the border?
Yes, well, an epidemiologist we spoke to, Jeffrey Kwong, he was saying he just can't understand why these tests aren't being given. Apparently, there are millions of them available in Canada. They're using them in some circumstances where there are outbreaks, but why not put them to use at the border? Or at least, again, priority for vaccines for truckers. These people are essential. They're bringing food to Canada. They're bringing PPE, medication, and so forth. So why are they just being treated like, well, you're okay. You're okay. You can cross the border without any real precautions. Let's hear from another trucker that we spoke to. This is Louis Franco. He's based in Calgary. He has a couple of kids. And what makes him nervous is the idea that he's going to bring the virus home from the States. He goes 4 or 5 times a month. And that, of course, the kids would pass it on at school and to the community at large. Here's Louis.
I don't understand why the government hasn't looked at us and say, look, we need to make sure that these people, these drivers that are crossing the border are not bringing the disease back. And if they are, we need to make sure that we know who is sick so we can treat them or quarantine them. There is nothing. How many truckers cross the border every day? There's nothing.
Yeah, Heather, that question he asked, how many truckers cross the border every day? Thousands. In fact, Canada Border Services says that of the 10 million people that have made entries by land to Canada since the pandemic began, 5 million of them have been truckers. So this is an issue, obviously, that people would really like to see addressed.
It certainly is. Diane, listen, thank you for being here, telling us the story. There's more at CBCNews.ca of Diane's reporting there. Diane Buckner this morning.